Unity, Princess of Summer, the High Priestess, 2 major arcana cards, 7 of Summer under the deck is kind of an underlying energy here. I'll show you the cards as I see them, Aries. We have the major arcana card, the Unity card. We have the Princess of Summer, and we have the High Priestess, more major arcana energy for you. So you've got quite a bit of work you're doing in terms of energetic patterns in your life. The Unity card, often referring to the group, institutions, education, religion, issues of marriage, surrounding marriage, gurus, that type of energy. Then we have the Princess of Summer, which is about this sort of emotional offering that's come into your life. And then the High Priestess, you know, again, more spirituality associated with that Unity card. So you have quite a bit of focus on the spiritual right now, Aries, with those 2 major arcana cards surrounding that idea. Let me get the cards drawn from the Romance Angels card deck, Oracle deck. Okay, 1 card dropped out. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. There's a lot of different meanings. Just let me go ahead and get all the cards drawn for you. Okay, let your friends help you right in the center. And engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And then we have the unrequited love under the deck as an underlying or emergent energy. And I kind of feel like it's an underlying energy. It may be associated with that separation card. Okay, so Aries is taking these energies. So for some of you, it may be that surrounding your connection to a spouse, there may be this period where you're feeling a little bit separate, maybe even an actual separation occurring. But it may just be that you are separating, is how it feels to me, the strands of your spiritual life from your romantic life. That's how it kind of feels to me. And it feels like, and I'm seeing it as strands. It's like it's been very sort of interwoven. So it may be that your spiritual life, your religious life has been, you're beginning to explore how that means to you in terms of love and romance. And especially if you are in a marriage in particular, because the Unity card often referring to the institution of marriage for me. So it may not be that you are separating, but that you are beginning to separate more and more, individuate in some ways from the influences of your religious, spiritual background, and including your marriage. And that's normal, you know, especially if you're married. You go through periods where you're feeling like, oh, you know, we're twins, we're one with each other for some of you. And then other times when you're like, you know what, we need a little bit of separation. Like I'm a different person, you're a different person, and we want to be equal partners, not both of us so entrenched within one another's worlds. So again, this is a pretty short period of time that we're looking at. So there's like a rhythm that happens in marriages. And I'm talking a lot about marriages because that's what's coming up for me. But again, it may not be, obviously not all of you who listen to this are going to be married. And so I feel like for some of you, it's going to be about a spiritually minded community that you may be involved in. And there may be a guru for some of you. And I say that word lightly, but you know, a spiritual teacher, someone like that who you are kind of beginning to separate from. And again, this word of individuate is coming up very strongly for me. And I'm really seeing that High Priestess as, you know, because we've got the group right here. Then we have this, then we have this kind of emotional experience coming in, right? An offering of emotion. And then we have the High Priestess, like going within. Like, so we've got the group, and then we have solo. And then we have the separation card. So, and the unrequited love. So there is this kind of idea, and religious factors under the deck there. So very much at play for you, Aries, during this time period is your religion, is your spirituality, and how you connect to it in the realm of love and romance. Again, separating it in some ways, discerning what applies to you now and what no longer works for you. And there is something that kind of happens in the center of this time period that feels like, or something that you just kind of been dealing with that has to do with an emotional situation or experience that is causing you to kind of go within and to contemplate your spirituality and trusting your intuition more. Because we have this let your friends help you, which is about, again, the group, that unity card. And then we have the engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And so for many of you, I feel like there may be this kind of separation, separating the strands, even if you're not married, kind of separating yourself a little bit from your partner, and you're understanding their spiritual truths and your spiritual truths, their religious beliefs and yours, and kind of how they're different. And then once you can kind of figure out where they're different, you can kind of come back together. And it may be that you have some friends who help you with this as well, or your own spiritual organization here. And then that helps you push you forward into a higher level of commitment with one another. And it may be for some of you that it does push you apart, and that drives you within. And then the engagement is with self, the higher level of commitment to self, to your beliefs and what you hold true and dear. Okay, let me get a card from the Tarot of Sexual Magic here for you, Aries. And I will say that for some of you, there is this possibility that there could be another person involved within the marriage, because we have the Unity card as the marriage card, then we have the High Priestess, which could indicate another woman coming in. Or another energy coming in. And that's what that emotional experience is. But I'm going to get one more card from the Tarot of Sexual Magic, and then I'm going to get additional cards on those cards up there. So hang on one second. Okay, this one wants to come up. Okay. Knight of Wands. Okay. All right, so we have this Knight of Wands card here, right in the area of physical and sexual intimacy. And I kind of feel like there is something very, very stark about this. There's like not a lot of people around. Again, we have this kind of separation. And I kind of feel like there could be that there's this place where you are separating yourselves from the group, from your friend group even. There's that message coming in. And there's also this idea of the beauty of this, like what it is. Again, outside of your religious influences, outside of your friend group, what do you either individually desire in love with another partner, or what is it you as a partnership want? How are you separated from your group, family, culture, religious upbringing? You guys together form your own bond separate from that. It's its own unique thing. And this is also works if you are not coupled currently. What do you desire? What you desire from a partner is separate in a lot of different ways from the group. Like you may have an unusual way of looking at partnership. Not that it's strange, but just that it's different than the group that you kind of have been associated with or are being with here. It's a really interesting energy. Okay, let me get some additional cards for you, Aries, on this. I'm going to get it on this Princess of Summer and see what this is about. So for Aries, I'm going to get one card looking at what this Princess of Summer is about and what the likely outcome is of this. The text of the card says, a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. Okay, it's about marriage. For me, the Five of Autumn is kind of like the marriage card, and with the Unity card, it's like for sure for many of you about marriage. For some of you, it may be that you are feeling challenged with money within your partnership, or even just you don't feel like you're worthy and deserving of love because you are feeling challenged financially. A lot of people think that they have to be at a certain place financially before they can be worthy and deserving of love. What's the likely outcome of this? And then for some of you, it is about getting married. You know, we have this engagement. Your love life is ascending to a high level of commitment. So for some of you, you may get engaged. That Princess of Summer may be an offering of love. And you both are kind of on the same page, possibly, with your religion or spirituality. Or it may just be that you're being asked to kind of go against not against it, but the Unity card is an interesting card because it encourages you to look at things from a different perspective in terms of if you have been very traditional, going into a sort of non-traditional approach, and the reverse is true. And so it may be because we have this Five of Autumn with the Princess of Summer and the engagement card that, you kind of say, you know what, I've been raised Christian, but I've fallen in love with a Muslim or someone who's of the Jewish faith or something like that kind of thing. And the King of Winter. So there may be an air sign involved here, possibly, with this emotional experience. This possible offering of love, offering of some kind of emotional message here. It could very well be about marriage. And if it's not about marriage, it's about that kind of relationship where you kind of get there eventually. Like maybe you've known each other before. It's been a long time coming, but it may have something to do with this air, possibly an air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Or if it's not an individual, it's just that kind of energy where you're more detached a little bit emotionally. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. And then let me look at this Unity card. What is this about? And that I will say that King of Winter sometimes can refer to a lawyer. So if that is the case, for some of you, you may be getting a divorce or considering that option. Okay, so I'm going to look at the Unity card and see what this is about. Because with these two fives, Five of Autumn and the Unity card being a five, there's quite a bit of change associated for you right now during this time period, Aries. Okay, we have the Eight of Spring and the Seven of Spring with the Unity card. Let me just get some cards on this High Priestess. Ten of Autumn and the Dreamer. Okay, so let me just get my tea. Hang on one second. Excuse me, Aries. All right. So around this Unity card, which again could be something to do with your spiritual and religious background, the group that you associate with, could be a marriage. We have the Eight of Spring, and we have the Seven of Spring. So it's about this Eight of Spring, which could be messages coming in, or you just trying to juggle a lot of different information coming in, or just a lot of different tasks during this time period associated with either your group here or a marriage. And then we have the Seven of Spring, which is, to stand up for yourself. There's a little bit of combative energy with this, but just make sure you're seeing things clearly. Like, stand your ground until you know which way things go. That's how it kind of feels to me. And then with the High Priestess, which is, again, this is kind of, this could be another woman in a possible marriage here, or it just could be this trusting your intuition, this more divine feminine energy of going within, of understanding that when you take action, you are feeling divinely guided to do so. A very powerful, still kind of energy here. And it is associated with family here. And then the Dreamer, which is a brand new beginning. So for some of you, it could be like a marriage again, and then possibly consulting with a lawyer, and then moving on, brand new path. Very kind of simple explanation here with the separation and the engagement, feeling more engaged. But also, for those of you who are single, I think that it has to do with something with the group here, changing the way that you your approach to love, or it could be that you have met someone again through like a spiritual retreat or a spiritual group or a religious group, and you're maybe a little different than how the group is, but you're encouraged to stand your ground. That's what makes you unique. And then with the High Priestess here, it's also, it's about how you it makes sense with these 2 5s here and the dreamer with the new beginning that there is this whole push towards change. So however you have been in love during this time period, Aries, you are approaching a new beginning. So whenever there's change, you know, we go into something new. And that's being illustrated here, like the likely outcome of this high priestess energy for you during this time period is about, maybe about the family here and traditional viewpoints, you know, family histories, family traditions, and then the brand new beginning, a brand new approach to it. So you're kind of flipping things upside down. You're taking a look at everything. Again, there's this idea of like strands. I felt like separating strands. And I feel like for many of you, regardless of how it manifests, whether you're married or single or whatever, there's a part of you right now, Aries, where you are separating the strands of your life in terms of looking at how you have been spiritually or religiously and how your religious background fits in with who you are now. And you're doing a little bit of exploration and it's kind of unsticking it. You know, sometimes things get very kind of stuck together. And I feel like for you, Aries, you're doing a lot of like pulling apart right now. That's how it feels to me. All right, so I think what I want to do, I don't know if you can hear the rain. It just started raining really hard. I'm going to get one more card for you from the, I think I'm going to go with the Magical Unicorns. I've really been loving this deck lately. And again, in the area of physical and sexual intimacy, let me just say that be free. Like however you're expressing yourself during this time period, Aries, in terms of your sexuality, in terms of the way you like to be physically intimate with another, or how you imagine it to be if you're not actually with someone. How, you know, it's about being free, expressing yourself naturally as a sexual being that you are. You know, it's a gift. Sexuality and the ability to express it is a beautiful gift, and when shared with another, from a place of truth and honesty, it's very freeing, and it does take you to a place that is feels all connected to others, of course. When you have that kind of spiritual sexual union. But it also feels as though you're the only 2 people on earth as well. So it's that kind of energy here that you're meant to play with. And again, for me, it's feeling, again, like separating the strands. Like you're really wanting to get to the core of the matter is how it feels to me, especially in sex, in physical intimacy. Like you want to get to the purest form of it, you know? Pushing away all that extraneous noise and just being together, bonded in that union. It's really a lovely energy. And again, it's about being free with it. You know, any sort of inhibitions, just let them go and just be free with yourself in that way without judgment or fear, if it feels safe to you, obviously. Okay, so let me go ahead and get one more card for you, Aries. I feel like for many of you, Aries, there is quite a bit of sexual energy around you during this time period. You want to be wild and free. So let's get in it. Wild and free. Aries. Okay. Exercise. Run, walk, swim, or otherwise move your body. This will give you more energy and happiness. And as I mentioned, it goes back to this idea of like you want to, around this idea of like expressing yourself physically, sexually, there's a lot of this energy, right? Exercise, like moving your body, getting in touch with another in the physical bond, getting in touch with self if you're not coupled. moving your body, right? That fiery, passionate energy. It's all like, I'm feeling like there's a strong sort of sexual energy around you right here. A lot of power around that, but you do want that, that purity of the connection. Again, I've never noticed this before, but it's almost like there's like a little rainbow above this unicorn, and it's about the spiritual bond. It's like there's all this fiery, passionate energy around you, like you want to express yourself. There's a lot of strong life force energy coming up through you, for you. But it's not enough, I think, for many of you to just have it be physical. Like you're wanting that spiritual, physical bond is how it feels to me.